think that getting sober and hitting bottom with drugs and alcohol was just one turning point in my life. There have been many after that.
Yeah.
That was a choice. That was a choice I made, which was a choice to change my life. And then every day from that point on, I'm making that choice again and again. Choose to surrender, choose to give it to God, choose to open my heart to a spiritual faith, choose to lean towards love, choose to change my mind, choose to pray, choose to meditate, choose again every day, one day at a time.
She sold millions of books, shared the stage with Oprah, and helped people around the world heal their trauma and manifest their dream lives. Gabby Bernstein is a global spiritual teacher, speaker, and best-selling author with a story that will move you from addiction and anxiety to recovery and deep purpose. In this episode of Beautiful Inside by Beauticate, she shares the 4-step method that's changing lives, the truth about why manifesting isn't about doing more, and how we can finally break the cycle of shame, fear, and self-sabotage. If you've ever felt stuck, disconnected, or unsure of your path, this conversation is for you.
Welcome to Beautiful Inside by Beauticate. I'm Sigourney Cantelo. For over 2 decades as a magazine beauty and health director and founder of Beauticate, I've shared stories about how to be beautiful on the outside. But recently, I've also been on my own journey to uncover what it means to be beautiful within. Inspired by my own experiences with mental health and healing, I'm meeting people who have remarkable stories to share. How have they come back from the brink of adversity and reclaimed their power? How do they continue to nurture their inner selves while creating space for joy, beauty, and well-being? This season of Beautiful Inside is brought to you by Dermalogica, a brand that I've trusted for years to keep my skin happy and healthy. When I flew to LA at the end of last year to interview their founder Jane Werwand and tour their head office, I remembered why I love this brand so much. Dermalogica is all about results. It's clean, cruelty-free, and the products actually work, because they've been trusted by skin therapists around the world since 1986. Now, I try a lot of products, and whenever my skin has a hissy fit or if I'm traveling, I strip it all back and go back to Dermalogica. It's like my skin's safe space. Now, make sure you stick around for my skin diaries at the end of this episode, where I share my favorite Dermalogica products and treatments and how they've transformed my skin. If you want to take your skin health to the next level, head to dermalogica.com.au or your nearest stockist and check the show notes for a special discount code. Now, before we launch into the chat, I want to ask you a very quick favor. If you enjoy this episode, please hit the subscribe button. You have no idea what a difference it makes. I will continue to throw everything I have at creating this podcast, finding the best guests and having the most raw and authentic conversations. Speaking of which, let's get into this week's chat. I hope you enjoy it. Beautiful Inside acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land that this podcast is recorded on, and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging.
Wonderfully working. Everything's happening. How you doing, honey?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm so excited this is my dinner hour. I'm doing this hour of power with my Aussie audiences here, spreading the gospel.
Fantastic. And so you're coming to Sydney soon. So tell me, how many times have you been to Australia now?
I think this may be my 5th time. I come often, very often. Maybe my 5th time. Yeah. I'm going to be in I was just on another podcast. She said, Brizzy, Melbs and Sids.
Yeah, maybe you have to go to Radelaide next time.
maybe I have to do that. I don't know. And so I'm coming to you guys, and I'm going to be giving a manifesting masterclass.
Amazing.
For your
what can you expect in that?
Oh, lots of things. You can expect a lot of meditation. You can expect a lot of practices for releasing the blocks to your manifesting power, which is going to be major. Tools for connecting to your spirit guides and to angels and to the universe. Really recognizing our hidden power of our energy. It's going to be pretty epic.
Amazing.
Not to be missed.
Very excited to see you in live in person. So you often talk about manifesting your dream life. What does that dream look like to you now, and how has it evolved over the years?
Well, I think that I'm definitely living the life that I dreamed of as a 20-something-year-old. The dream, I've often said that it sort of feels like I'm awake in this dream saying yes. And I'm witnessing these moments and opportunities for personal development and growth. And in those moments and opportunities, I've said yes and yes and yes and yes and yes. And just each day, yesing my way to the next right action. It's been a gift. It's been a gift to be able to be a spiritual student and on a spiritual path. And so I think that's what living the dream means, is just showing up for your inner well-being and showing up for yourself in your life in a big way.
What do most people get wrong about manifesting? Is there like a myth or a common mistake that you find yourself constantly correcting?
Yeah. So the thing that people get wrong about manifesting is that they think it's something that they have to do. Manifesting isn't a doing, manifesting is a being. We have to get aligned with the energy of the universe. We have to get aligned with our super attractor power. And in that alignment, we can do less and attract more.
It's sort of about intuition as well, isn't it? It's about being like keyed in with what's the messages that you're getting.
Yes, when we're in a good positive energy and when we're spiritually fit, right? We're aligned, we're calm, we're connected, we're in joy. That's when we can start to hear our intuition in a greater way. We get intuitive ideas or creative thoughts, and that is the power of manifesting, is to start to live in that way, live in that light, live in that intuitive nature.
What role does healing play in all of that? I mean, how important is it that we do the inner work before we start really feeling the power of manifestation?
The real way to manifest is to turn inward and heal the beliefs and patterns that block you from manifesting, because we manifest what we believe. And so if we're consistently attracting things into our life that we don't want, it's because we're living with beliefs that we don't want. And so healing those inner beliefs is crucial to creating that change energetically and shifting your point of attraction so you can begin to manifest what you want.
You were talking about clearing blocks in your masterclass. That's something you do, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
How did that work?
Well, my 10th book, Self-Help, is out right now. And this book is all about how to really witness the beliefs and patterns and behaviors that have been keeping you stuck in old ways and beliefs really that are stuck in patterns that are not serving you anymore. And so when we start to have the compassionate connection to those patterns and we start to turn inward and start to tend to those patterns through the steps that are in this book, you can start to have a different relation. You get into a relationship and befriend those parts of yourself rather than run away from them or judge them or push them down. And so that's been a big part of the latest phase of my work.
So it's often about letting everything be within you. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we start to witness ourselves and the beliefs that block us through that lens of compassion and see, oh wow, that belief is there because it's been protecting me for a really long time. That in itself, that subtle shift of seeing things through that lens can have a massive shift in your life, can create a massive shift in your life, because you now are witnessing yourself as an innocent child. You're now witnessing yourself through the lens of the little girl inside, the little boy inside, not the bad person that you are or the bad behavior that you have. You now have a level of compassion for yourself that clears the blocks and the boundaries. That's huge.
And the shame as well that's often attached to that. Shame is so damaging and so restrictive, isn't it?
Well, shame is really behind all the reasons why we protect ourselves. Shame is a root cause condition for the behavioral patterns that make us feel quite frustrated, or the behaviors that keep us stuck in ways that we don't want to be in, because a shame response is triggered, right? A shame or a fear or a feeling of being inadequate or unlovable. It's an experience, very young experience, that gets triggered and activated. And when it's activated, boom, we go right into protection mechanisms. And so those protection mechanisms then become the blocks to our manifesting. And so it's a cycle. It's a vicious
cycle. So true. Now, you've created a powerful 4-step process for manifestation. Can you walk us through it a little bit in ways that listeners can apply to their own lives?
Yeah. So the 4-step check-in practice is a practice for releasing the blocks to your manifesting power. And I'm going to really break this down in big time. And when I'm live in Australia, the practice is about having the compassionate connection to look at these beliefs or patterns or behaviors that are blocking you and to check in instead of check out. So the first step is to choose to check in, which is focusing your attention inward and noticing, second step, curiosity, noticing where it is in your body. Notice how you feel, where you feel that feeling, where what it might be saying to you. Are there any thoughts or sensations or any emotional states that you want to notice inside? It's giving
Can
yourself
these be
attention.
physical things like pain in the body and stuff? Or is
Yep.
it more
So like where
emotional?
do you feel it physically? Could be like your jaw tension or your
Yeah.
stomach or yes. How long has it been around? Like asking questions like how long have I had this belief? And then the third step is to compassionately connect to that part of yourself. When you start to ask it, what do you need? Remembering
Mm.
it's like a little girl or a little boy inside of you. What do I need? And
Rain? Is this also like rain? Recognize, inquire. Oh, there's another one. There's another acronym for it that the therapist told me. I don't know if it's similar, but it sounds really similar.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And then the fourth step is to check for self. And self is the calm and courageous quality inside of us, the compassion, the connection, the clarity, the courage, the creativity. And so you'll see, like, do I have more clarity about this part of myself now? Do I feel more connected to it? Do I have some compassion towards it? Do I
Mm.
have some courage right now? And in doing that, we start to notice, okay, that feels better inside. And when we start to put these pattern interrupts in the way of all the pushing and doing and start to focus on the feeling instead, we actually start to really shift inside and start to feel safer inside. This four-step check-in process is actually based on the practice of internal family systems therapy. And so yeah, it's just like a truncated version of IFS, and it's a self-help practice based on IFS that I created to make it accessible for people that may not ever get to IFS therapy. We have a lot of different protection mechanisms,
Mm.
and internal family systems is about the inner family of parts of us inside. And so we all have these young, like young little inner children inside of us that are really trying hard to protect ourselves against all kinds of emotional disturbances. And so we have some protection mechanisms that are more extreme than others, right? So some might be the protectors like controlling or people pleasing
Yeah.
or judging, whereas others could be much more extreme, like addiction or
Mm.
or rage or just more self harm, things like that.
Mm.
So we have yeah we have this journey inside that we can experience, and I'm going to be teaching that full on in the upcoming masterclass.
I
And
love that. I think it's so beautiful having that compassion for self, and it's a nice, as you say, a very digestible way to kind of teach it to people in
yeah,
a really
yeah,
gentle way.
yeah.
So, was there a particular moment when you realized that you had this power? I mean, of course, there was a moment, or maybe there was a series of moments that where you had this power to co-create your life with the universe.
I think that upon getting sober, when I was 25, I got sober, recognized that the shift in my focus from looking for my self worth and my happiness on the outside to turning inward for that genuine connection was going to be the through line of my life. I knew that at 25. I realized that.
You were so young to learn that. That's fantastic.
And in realizing that and recognizing that, I made a commitment to myself. I committed to making my inner world, my inner peace, my highest priority. And it worked. It worked.
So
I'm
you
living the dream.
look at you. So was it? Did you get it straight away, or did it take a long time to sort of start prioritizing?
20 years or so later.
Yeah. I think it's something, it's often like we know what we need to do, but the doing is the part that's the
Well, I've
hard.
been doing every day for 20 years,
Yeah.
and now I am living the dream, the
So
happy
you're
dream.
a prime example of what can happen if you actually
I'm
apply yourself.
living proof that when you make a commitment to personal development, that it works.
Mm. And to take it back to when you went through recovery and you became sober, you're very very open about your struggles with addiction and mental health. How did those experiences fuel the transformation for you, do you think?
I think that getting sober and hitting bottom with drugs and alcohol was just one turning point in my life. There have been many after that.
Yeah.
That was a choice. That was a choice I made, which was a choice to change my life. And then every day from that point on, I'm making that choice again and again. Choose to surrender, choose to give it to God, choose to open my heart to a spiritual faith, choose to lean towards love, choose to change my mind, choose to pray, choose to meditate, choose again every day, one day at a time.
And how do you be so disciplined? Like what do you tell people that say, I can't do it. I can't fit it into my life. Like how
I think being spiritually disciplined isn't so much about a to-do list or making something happen or forcing yourself to show up. It's about recognizing how much better you can feel.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's more looking for the feeling that you get from it when you do it and remembering that.
And wanting more of it.
Yeah. 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 So rather than reaching for the glass of wine, you think, no, actually, this is
Well,
going to.
it's kind of like it's really like the gym. The more you do it, the more you want it.
Yeah. Yeah. When you start to see the results. What does your own manifesting routine look like? I mean, do you visualize, do you journal, do you meditate? Is it a combination of all three plus exercise? Like what's your sort of routine look like?
My manifesting routine looks like showing up for myself every day, making sure that I'm eating well, thinking well, living well, loving well, and then trusting that that energy is enough to send a message to the universe that I am open to receive miracles, that I'm open to receive guidance, that I'm open to the direction, the divine direction that's available to me, that's around me and within me. I trust that. I trust that showing up in high vibe is enough. And then I have these moments throughout the day where I can get these hits of like, ooh, that feels like something cool is on its way, and I'll celebrate it. I was in the meatpacking district in New York City, and I live part-time in the West Village, which is nearby the meatpacking. And I walked by this building, and it was like an office building. And it had these huge windows and these like really grand office, right? This huge grand office. I could see the whole office space, and it said office rentals. And it looked like almost like this, like these steps going up to, it was like a very brownstone kind of building. And I
Mm.
was like, I'm going to have an office there one day. And not that I have any desire. I mean, I have a totally virtual team I have for 20 years, no interest in an office. But I was like, I'm going to have a New York team and an office in this building. And I started feeling like really excited about it and really good about it, and just started noticing it and being like, I'm going to
Wow.
have an office here. This is where I'm going to have an office. And I don't know what it was, but I guarantee you, like fast forward 10 years, I'm going to have an office in that building. Like I guarantee you, I'm sure of it.
So it's just it's being tuned in to things that are meant to be, regardless of whether you can even understand why at that point. Is
Well, it
that right?
also represented something for me. Like it represented sort of the
Mm.
next phase of my development, team growth, having an in-person team that can do more production or something. I don't know. It's sort of what it was representing for
How
me.
long ago was that? Was that just recent?
It was yesterday.
Love it. And do you actually do a lot of journaling as well, or do you meditate daily, or is it
I
more?
meditate twice a day. I do non-sleep deep rest meditation, where I also use a mantra, sort of like a combination of TM and then the resting is really, really big part of it as well. So I meditate at noon and at night, like sometimes a little bit later in the afternoon or in the evening.
For how long each time?
20 minutes.
20 minutes twice a day.
Yeah.
And is there non-sleep deep rest? Is that like a yoga nidra? Is that someone talking you through
I
it, or is that just
No,
for?
no, no. I use a mantra. So it's transcendental meditation, but I use a mantra, and then I often will go into sort of a sleep state, but it's not sleep. It's
Oh, I see. So you're using your mantra to get to that state. Yeah.
which is where I get to. Like I could do the mantra for 20 minutes too, but it's just I get there. So
You get there without needing the mantra. Yeah. Now, you've helped millions through your books, podcasts, speaking events. What's been the most surprising or fulfilling moment so far for you?
most surprising and fulfilling moment.
Mm. Or
Huh.
fulfilling. Maybe they're two separate things.
You know, I think the most fulfilling moments of my career are when I get to be live in person with people on stage and get to hear first hand accounts of people who have done this work and changed their lives. It's just really thrilling to me. It never ceases to amaze me, and I can take it in more now than I ever could before. So that's kind of fun too.
Yeah. Before you would not take the compliments or
Yeah, I think I might have been more like, you know, not able to fully comprehend the magnitude of what might be the ripple effect of this work.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the most proudest moment, or is there another proud moment that you've got in your career?
Yeah, probably that. The pride in seeing people do the work and seeing the shifts in their energy. It's really huge.
What drives you to do the work that you do? What gets you up every morning?
I love the work that I do. I love people. I love the human condition. I love healing myself. I love teaching people how I heal myself. I love it. I love everything about it.
I'm curious about your childhood. Did it kind of set you up to do this work? Were your parents into this kind of thing, or was
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I was brought up very spiritual. My mom brought me to ashrams and taught me how to meditate, and so I always had a spiritual foundation in my life. And you know, I think it was the greatest gift I could have been given because it planted a seed that I then would continue to grow throughout my life, which is what I've been doing ever since.
If you've got one piece of advice for people who are just starting out on this journey and possibly think that it's beyond them, and they don't have time or they don't know where to begin, what would that piece of advice be?
Well, I think that the person who's spiritually curious has already done half the gig, right? They're open, they're
Yeah.
willing. And then the next step is just to stay present and open to what you're guided to. So if you're listening to this podcast, you were guided here, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that might lead you to, pick up a book or go listen to something else I've done or somebody else's or somebody else, some other teacher or whatever it might be. And I think that it's just being curious, being spiritually curious is really all you need.
And then come to see the show.
And definitely,
Book tickets and then
definitely.
you'll know.
I mean, I'm coming across the world to see you, Aussies. You want to make sure that you join me. It'd be crazy not to. Yeah, so crazy.
Well, I look forward to hopefully meeting you in person and I look seeing your
I'm
show.
excited. I'm really excited. Thank you for everything.
So welcome back to episode 3 of my Skin Diaries with Dermalogica. I am currently in Cairns, far north Queensland, on a fragrance press trip, and it's pretty humid up here. My hair is hating it. My skin, on the other hand, is quite happy. About a week ago, I went to Dermalogica head office to try their new Exo Booster treatment, and it was phenomenal. I was really excited because the before and after pics are incredible. It starts with their signature double cleanse, followed by a powerful peeling solution to prep the skin. Then comes the star, a cutting-edge combination of microneedling and exosome technology. So exosomes are tiny cell messengers that help rejuvenate and repair your skin on a cellular level. And now we're going in with the needling, which was a little bit spicy, but not intolerable. Now, this biphase booster uses lactobacillus exosomes to deliver potent actives directly into the skin. And the results? In clinical trials, this treatment gave an 86% greater reduction in wrinkle appearance compared to microneedling alone. And is suitable for all skin types, especially if you're looking to seriously firm, smooth, and revitalize tired or aging skin. Now, after the treatment, they gave me this little Exo Booster ampule to use for the next 3 days. And I also took with me their post-treatment kit, which is the ultra calming products, so that basically the skin can recover properly from the treatment. But I had barely any downtime. My skin looked fantastic for the next few days. And now it feels a bit like I'm a snake that shed my winter skin. The skin had been dry and just dull, and after the treatment there was the peel, so that really just brightened everything up, and then the infusion of all the great ingredients from the Exo Booster. So highly recommend you go and try it. There is a discount code for all Dermalogica products, which we'll put in the show notes and the captions, so make sure you try it.